Hello learners, welcome to Learn to Empower. In this video, we'll be looking into some of the important articles that came in the newspaper. The first case that we look into is Supreme Court refuses more time to Bilkis case convicts. Now, the news is about the 11 convicts that came out recently. Now, Supreme Court said that the release of these convicts in early without completing their period. The period was at life imprisonment for these people. Releasing of these people by the Gujarat government is unconstitutional. Let's look at the background of the case. The background of the case starts in the year 2002. The 2002 is the Gujarat rights case, where the Bilkis Bano's case is also known as Best Bakery case. Why it is known as Best Bakery case? Because the Best Bakery is the food outlet or the bakery run by the Bilkis Bano's family. Now, a lot of atrocities done against her and her family. Around 15 members of her family were killed, and she was also gang raped. Now, point to be understood that the trial was done at that time. Around 11 people got the conviction. The point to be remembered, the trial took place in the Maharashtra High Court, right, Bombay High Court. But so the releasing order, etc., should be done by the Maharashtra itself. But who is taking the decision here? It is the decision taken by the Gujarat government. Now, Supreme Court finding this lapse of procedure, the Supreme Court said the convicts released by the Gujarat government is unconstitutional, right? Now, the second important article that we look into is that Andhra Pradesh becomes the second state to conduct the caste census, which is the first state, that is the Bihar. Bihar has conducted the first caste census. The second state that inspired because of the caste census is the Andhra Pradesh. Now, let's look into whether Indian government has conducted any caste census before or not. The first and most caste census that was conducted, that was during the British administration, right? It was around the year 1921 and 22. The first caste census was conducted in India. After that, there was no caste census conducted by India except in socio-economic caste census in 2011. Right? Anyhow, the socio-economic caste census was not taken as a basis for giving any benefits to any sections of the society, because the socio-economic caste census has been termed as there was some procedural irregularity that was happened. The data collection was not done in an appropriate manner. Now, the second state, that was the Andhra Pradesh. Now, understand why any state is going to conduct the caste census. Now, they want to understand the social structure of the population. What is the social structure they are talking about? Whether the government benefit, that the government implementing certain policies, government implementing certain reservation provisions, government that is giving any kind of monetary benefits to the people, especially the weaker sections include SC, ST and OBC, whether they are reaching in the right benefits or not. If not, why not? Then where the procedure lapse is happening? Let's try and understand that procedure lapses. To understand this integrities or nitty-gritties of the particular implementation of the scheme, state government is going for the caste census. I am not getting into the political agenda of this caste census, but primarily the administration does this caste census to understand the progress of the social structure in the society. The next article that we see is the abandon the idea of one nation, one election. This is a statement given by Karge. Karge is the leader, or I would say the president of the Congress party now. Now he is given this statement. Now, why this statement is important? Because recently one committee was established by the government. The committee was headed by the former president of India, that is Ramnath Kovind. Now, under the Ramnath Kovind, now committee is studying whether is there any feasibility for conducting one nation, one election. Now, try and understand, what if one nation, one election is implemented in India? One nation, one election is implemented, both center as well as the state elections will be conducted in a simultaneous manner. When this is conducted in a simultaneous manner, the election expenditure will come down drastically, because India is the largest democracy. No doubt, one or the other state is always going under the election. Now, if the center and the state elections are conducted in a simultaneous manner, now the election expenditures, etc., the security personnel's expenditure, the securities that is being provided during the elections will come down drastically. But what is wrong with this idea, or I would say what we are not considering, is that what if it is conducted in a simultaneous manner, what if one state government is dissolved because of the hung assembly, because of many reasons, or no confidence motion? Now, how this will be implemented in future terms, right? How implemented, how feasible this one nation, one election, a country like India, because India is primarily a federal country where each unit of the state both center as well as the state derives the powers from the same constitution. When both are deriving the power from the same constitution, then why we should have a one nation and one election just because to reduce the election expenditure, right? And what if the state is dissolved before? What if center is dissolved before? What are the measures that we can take? That is not clear. Now Ramnath Kovind's committee is meant to study this. The UPSC point will be that which is the committee that was established. That was the Ramnath Kovind's committee to study the one nation and one election. Now the next important article that we are seeing is that Maldives and Lakshadweep. Comparison of Maldives and Lakshadweep. Why Maldives has progressed very well in the tourism potential and why not the Lakshadweep over the period of time. Right. Now there are some data that has been given here. I have given the data or the measures that is been given here is that let's try and understand what advantage the Maldives has, what advantage or disadvantage that Lakshadweep has. Now, point to be understood, Maldives is having around 1190 coral islands, right? And it is of near to the tropic area where the government from the initial stages itself they started investing a lot in the tourism, right? Around you see the one data is given very beautiful data in the January by January 17th 2024 some 1 lakh student 1 lakh tourists came to Maldives, right? But what if you take the same kind of data analysis for the Lakshadweep we don't have any clarity of how many tourists are entering into the Lakshadweep, right? Now let's understand the reason why this is not happening. Now, point to be understood, Lakshadweep has never invested in the initial stages of their administration into the tourism potential at all. But Maldives have invested, right? And moreover, if you look at the structure of governance of the Maldives also, in their GDP, tourism contributes 30% of their GDP. Right, that much tourism potential, and sometimes they even offer luxurious islands, separate coral islands for rich or the people who are of wealthy background. That is how they have attracted the tourism potential in Maldives. But even Maldives also offer a lot of visa-free travel to certain countries, tourists from certain countries, which includes India, Russia, China, and Kazakhstan as well. And apart from this, there are many countries where Maldives gives to visa on arrival or without even visa also you can stay certain period in Maldives. But when you take the Lakshadweep is not the case like this. Even the Lakshadweep has for Indians also, if you want to travel certain areas in the Lakshadweep islands, you need to take the permission from the administration, which is directly mentioned in the website. As like inner line permit in the northeastern states of India, we need to also take certain kind of permission from the the Lakshadweep administration. Now, don't you see, because of these procedures also, the tourists are not finding much attraction in the Lakshadweep. Apart from that, I agree that there are no infrastructure development in Lakshadweep as like Maldives as well. So now recently Prime Minister visited Maldives, that he visited one island, that is Bangaram Island. Bangaram Island is also in the news in the year 2018-19 period because of one coral island which is a part of Bangaram Island was submerged into the ocean because of the sea level rise, etc. It was submerged into the ocean. Now Bangaram Island is also one of the uninhabited island which need to be developed in a larger potential. And comparatively to the Maldives, Lakshadweep is having a very less number of islands. Even though the name suggests Lakshadweep, it means what a group of lakhs of islands, but it is not per se. But it is only a group of islands that we can develop. We can develop a cruise ship model kind of thing where people can travel from Kerala to the Lakshadweep Islands, where the cruise kind of thing that can be taken up. There is a lot of potential is there, but we need to identify that potential and we need to give that potential a right chance for the people to explore this tourism. Now, the next important article that we see, US forces strike Houthi site in Yemen for fifth time. Now, let's understand the location of Houthis. Now, these are the Houthi location in the country of Yemen. Now, Yemen is a country which is under turmoil for a very long period of time. The people who are living in the Yemen or the rebel groups who are living in the Yemen are taking sides where the Houthi, especially the Houthi rebels, are supported by Iran. Now, these are the same Houthi rebels who are supporting to the Gaza where the Hamas was ruling at that time. Right now, Hamas also the main stakeholder in the Israel-Palestine war. Houthis are the people who are directly in support of it. Now, why US is attacked it? The US have attacked because the some of the pirate activities that is taken up by the Houthis, and they have captured certain ships of US based marine ships, etc., and merchant ships as well. Now because of these, the US is antagonized because they are capturing the main area of Red Sea. So US is not interested, because if you capture the area of Red Sea, it is directly affecting the trade route in the Suez Canal. Now this cannot happen, because this will affect the entire supply chain in the Suez Canal. So this should not happen. So that's how. What is important for the prelims? The location of the Houthis, where they are present. They are present in Yemen. Now who is supporting them? That is Iran. Right. Now, apart from this, there are other lot of stakes involved with respect to Iran and Houthis, which is not relevant in this article. In coming articles, if the relevance is found, we will be discussing that as well. The next important article that we see: how do you plan to save Great Indian Bustard? Asks the Supreme Court to the government. Now, you need to understand, Great Indian Bustard is a important bird in India. It is critically endangered bird. Now, why this is in the news? Because in Rajasthan and Gujarat, there is a corridor that was established, which the corridor is having a high tension cable wires which is carrying the electricity. Now, this is coming in coincide with the habitat of this Great Indian Bustard. When the Great Indian Bustard is already been classified as a critically endangered, which means what, their population in the wild is very less. Now it is important for Indian government to protect this habitat. Now what is the other feasibility that we can arrive for protecting the Great Indian Bustard? Now this is also the state bird of Rajasthan. It is also a flagship grassland species. What is a flagship grassland species? This is a species, if it is protected, or if it is meant to be protected, then the other species can also be protected here. Now Great Indian Bustard is in the news, which is very important. Now by this we are coming to end of the articles of particular day. We will be discussing the similar kind of news articles in the coming videos as well. Thank you.